Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard. I'm joined today by...
Mercy the Tiefling Wizard.
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And Bean, the Rock Gnome Rogue. I have been informed that this is a very serious and uncomedic podcast, so as you can see, I have come in business attire. Can you hear my lapels?
How did you get a fitted suit?
I can hear your lapels, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
We appreciate the serious tone that you've taken and the business-like attitude. We've all been waiting for that to finally happen.
Yeah, we've been like, Bean,
so
stop
we
being
can
funny.
really get this show going.
Wait, you guys thought I was funny?
I plead the fifth.
What?
Sure.
I mean... Anyway, I understand that there is an agenda on the table today for us to discuss.
Yeah, let's start the meeting's minutes here. First off, I just wanted to thank our viewers, our listeners, for sending in some of their creations and things that they've found online to us. We're going to be having a bit of a project coming up soon where we go over a bunch of those that have been submitted, and we're going to make that a more regular part of the show where you can know that we are going to talk about the submissions that you have and give you that direct kind of feedback that a lot of you have asked for. People have emailed to us their creations and asked, even if we don't put it up on the show, for some feedback. And I think that's really cool that hopefully we can create a space where we can provide that to people who are looking for it. I know one of the hardest things to find in creative efforts is good feedback and good critique that you could trust. And so I'm glad that some people think that we might be able to give that to them. So if you have something...
we are capable in any way of providing that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a very good compliment. Thank you. If you have something you'd like us to talk about on the show or get feedback on, you can send it to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on social media at thecopperfoxinn. Well, let's get into the topic of the episode today. Bean, take those lapels off. We're ready to get back to the humor today.
This is not a tearaway suit, but I will do my best.
Every suit's a tearaway suit if you try hard enough.
If you believe in yourself.
Hold on, I need to find something to make a ripping Foley sound.
You're good.
Give me a second here.
They have those
Got a napkin.
online.
Okay, ready?
Nice.
Thank you.
That's perfect. Your tiny suit with the sound of a small piece of
she's a
paper.
gnome.
I know, that's what makes it very funny. That's very good. All right.
I should have worn something under the suit.
You're good. Don't worry about it. In today's episode, we are discussing the Bardic College of Lo-Fi Beats to Study and Relax to. This was posted in r/Unearthed Arcana by user marshmallow_figs. So thank you for that, Marshmallow Figs. This is based, obviously, upon the famous YouTube ongoing live playlist, Lo-Fi Beats to Study and Relax to, which has, I think, served many a college student or even high school students in their times of need. Helped us all get through these rough times, you know what I mean?
It's gotten me through some boring work days, that's for sure.
For sure.
Well, I've been quarantined in a single inn room here, and I've been having it on in the background as a way of keeping the sanity a little bit.
It's really, it's so nice. It's really helpful. It just brings that positive, chill energy that we all need a little bit of in our lives.
Or a lot of bit of right now.
Or a lot of bit of. So the College of Lo-Fi Beats to Study / Relax to. Many bards pride themselves on peppy music that inspires dancing and singing along. Bards of the College of Lo-Fi Beats to Study Relax to recognize that sometimes you need to calm it down. When one of these bards is around, you know that we're just vibing here. I feel like this belongs in a party with our weed domain cleric.
Yep.
Just vibes.
Just good vibes only. Yeah.
That and the like chef class.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I want to join that party.
Sounds
That sounds like a great time.
Dude, the most
The
chill,
chill
party.
party.
Yeah, could you imagine a party that they don't even like adventure? They just chill. They just vibe, though. I think that's just called
The
hanging out
world
with your
gets
friends.
destroyed around them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, we're good."
I mean, but I think by definition that is not an adventuring party.
I know,
think
that's the problem.
Just a group of people.
I think it's like, guys, I want to play D&D, but I don't want to like quest or adventure. I just want to hang out with you guys. I think that's just called hanging out.
Let's just pretend to be other fantasy people, but then just chill.
But who are
just chill.
also hanging out.
Yeah. Good vibes only. The third level feature. Your beats are chill, and it helps your allies focus and stay in the moment. When you're performing, anyone who's copying a spell into their spellbook can do so twice as fast as they normally can, as you're helping them to study and relax.
Nice.
So the wizard's friend.
Yeah, wizard's friend. In addition, your very presence brings a calming atmosphere. All allies within 30 feet of you, including yourself, have advantage on constitution checks to maintain concentration on a spell they are casting.
So good.
That's
Okay,
very good.
interesting.
So it says when you are performing, which I'm not sure the qualifications of, like, it doesn't say you can begin performing as an action or anything like that. So you just say I
It's
start
just while you're
performing,
performing, I guess.
while
Yeah,
I'm
that is a
performing.
little
If
vague,
you
but
had to make a performance check, are you performing?
I would probably, I mean, if a player was like, so can I just perform? I mean, I'd probably rule that just while you're performing, you can't do other stuff, right? Like you can't.
busy.
Yeah, you're busy doing that. So yeah, if you want to be performing in combat, you can, but you wouldn't be able to make an attack on your turn or something. Or if you did, you wouldn't be performing anymore, and they'd lose that benefit, I'd assume.
Or is it a little bit like holding a spell concentration just a little bit more? You know, maybe you've got one of those little DJ pads on your lap and you're just like dropping little beats and stuff, and you can kind of do some other things.
I do
but mostly
kind
you
of-
got to focus on that.
Love the image of a bard who is performing in combat but also still fighting. Just elbow them as you play the violin.
well, I
and,
think
like,
that's like the implication. That's why like your musical instrument can serve as your arcane focus for a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you literally have to use your instruments while you are fighting in certain scenarios.
And that's why I silver all of my instruments, so they can be used as a blunt force weapon in a pinch. Why isn't that a
My
thing?
silver
That should be a
saxophone.
thing.
My silvered violin.
My silver violin for if I fight demons.
Nah, dude, it's a trumpet, and you've sharpened the edges of the bell of the trumpet.
It's a trombone, and there's like a long knife on the end where you
It's a
move it in and
bayonet.
out, and you bayonet.
That's what I'm saying. I want to go to a store in a fantasy setting, like in D&D, where it's like a bardic supply store, but it is all just like weaponized instruments.
It's the Valor Bard store.
Oh, that's true though. That do be what Valor Bards do. Hey, can you
Or
just
sword
chill?
bards.
Onog, didn't you hear him? Can you just chill?
Can you just
Okay.
chill? At 6th level, your enemies also begin to feel the pure chill.
Oh no.
I think that's from your weed domain friend, but it has the similar effect.
They're getting a contact high.
You can use your music to calm down someone who's just going too hard.
As a barbarian, I resent this.
It's a non-bow with barbarians.
Yes.
When an enemy uses their reaction, you, using your reaction, can force them to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail, your beats nullify their reaction and prevent it from making any reactions, including this one, due to its relaxed state of mind. It repeats the saving throw at the end of each of their turns. So that could be like to get around like a attack of opportunity, to kind of get your
Or
way out of
casting,
something.
like counterspell, yeah.
Or yeah, to
I
get
like
out of
that
some
it
reaction
is-
spells.
Yeah, I like that it is on a reaction because that is kind of an extra step, you know? And so for them to say, like, for someone going too hard, that little extra step, you get just to be like,
Look,
hey, whoa.
You
calm
can do
down.
stuff on your turn, but reactions, chill out, man.
Chill,
You gotta calm.
chill.
If the enemy fails the saving throw by 5 or more, they must make another wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. If they fail again, they fall asleep as if affected by the sleep spell, provided they can fall asleep. Which I get references elves, but also I like to
Right.
imagine it's like, I can't sleep.
Like, provided this ability would even work with them in any way,
Yeah,
shape.
yeah.
Oh, so this,
Elves and
this,
anyone with anxiety.
this wouldn't work on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
extreme insomnia.
Yeah. The problem of the College of Lo-Fi Beats to study and relax to is it's often on at like 3 a.m. when you're on your 10th cup of coffee trying to finish the
That's true.
the
You
paper.
cannot
You
fall
cannot
asleep.
fall asleep. Yeah, for sure.
I like to imagine though that like it's unspoken, but the barbarian's trying so hard to rage and just keeps chilling out, and so has to put like earbuds in with heavy metal on because they're like, I'm so sorry, your beats are sick, but I gotta tune that out because I have to rage right now.
I have to get into this right
You're
now.
mellowing me out too much.
Yeah. Slowed plus reverb. The key to all good lo-fi. At 14th level, you've become the embodiment of relaxation. Whenever you hear a song performed, you're able to perfectly replicate it, but only as a slowed down version with heavy magical reverb.
I can't play faster than this, guys.
This is as fast as I go. In addition, as an action, you can perform a song that is just so relaxing that your enemies have to give in to the chill. All enemies within 60 feet that can hear you must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail, for the next minute, they can no longer add their ability score modifier to any attack they make.
They just can't. Their
That's
heart's just not in it, you know?
Hold up. That's actually sick. The concept of like stealing their ability to add ability score modifiers, I've never seen in a homebrew before.
It's a cool mechanic.
Very compelling design space.
It's like a very interesting idea that comes from, or at least like it has its origins in 3.5 and 4th edition, where there were things like flat-footed, where it's like if you are caught flat-footed, you don't get to add your dexterity to your armor class. And this is just kind of the inverse of that, where it's like you can't add your ability modifier to your attack rolls because you're so chilled out you can't really effectively hit anybody.
Yeah, you have to just use your raw, dice roll, and you don't get any personal like extra oomph behind it.
I think it's interesting to think about from a flavor perspective when you're writing mechanics, the difference between how that feels and not just giving them disadvantage feels.
Yeah, which generally speaking, if this was like an Unearthed Arcana, it would probably get into a book as you give them disadvantage, which I understand. Don't get me wrong.
We understand that's why they simplified things, but we
But
also
it's interesting
want more
to do it a
complicated
different
things.
way.
Now that we have been fed milk as babies, we desire meat as adults. And so it's like
Nice Bible
disadvantage-
reference.
Yes. Disadvantage is a great system. Like advantage, disadvantage, it's a beautiful system. But every once in a while, I want a slightly more nuanced version.
Hey Thomas, can you reread after the second sentence of the first paragraph in this section?
What are you talking about?
Whenever you hear a song.
Whenever you hear a song performed, you're able to perfectly replicate it, but only as a slowed down version and with heavy magical reverb.
No! Content ID! Content ID!
Content ID.
We have to talk
See,
over this.
it was a different song. It changed.
Could you imagine though? And then it comes in with one of those radio.
So then that being said though, whenever you hear a song performed, you are able to perfectly replicate it, but only slowed down version. What happens if you have two College of Lo-Fi Beats bards?
Oh no!
slow each other down infinitely.
It's just an infinite loop of slow.
No. Well, because it eventually becomes like.
It's just the song from Inception, just
Yeah.
It's so slow.
I was just picturing being as you were doing that fantastic slow down reverb take there, that suddenly like a radio kind of voice would come on, as happens in a lot of lo-fi, and it'd be like, she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
There's just like a little bit of a
that.
rainstorm.
Do you want me to lay down that bass line again?
No.
And you could.
Now we're good.
You could add
We're
that.
good.
We can move on.
You don't
think
want
we
to
get it.
jam with me?
Maybe
Goodness
I'll edit that
gracious.
in later.
That'll be our after credits thing. We'll have the record scratch sound going in the background and like.
Yeah.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Oh no, it would have to be radio. It would have to be weird excerpts from Shrek,
Yeah.
like unrelated excerpts from Shrek.
Just donkey.
Where where it's like, what's that big constellation up there, Shrek? That's the moon, donkey.
Some of you may die.
Now you just sound like Kylo Ren.
I do. Sounds like Bane.
Okay, here's what it's gonna be. There's like a. And then like. And then you hear all of a sudden. Oh yeah. Donkey. That's it.
Where are you going with this?
What?
I mean, I think we should do a competition to see which of us can do the best. Oh yeah. But I mean, you guys probably don't want to do that.
No, we're good. Thanks, Bean. You can put those lapels
Okay.
back on. We're gonna we're gonna wrap the
They're
episode
shredded.
up.
You didn't hear?
We're gonna sew them back. I'll cast mending for you. Don't worry about it.
Well, I do have one thing to kind of talk about. So the first ability, good vibes only. While it is really cool and helpful to your wizard / warlock friends who need to transcribe spells, if you don't have a wizard in your party, this ability doesn't, like, I understand like how flavorful it is because you're doing your homework to the lo-fi beats, but it is kind of useless, and it doesn't really do anything if you don't actively have a wizard in your party.
Maybe just a little bit of language that kind of expanded the idea of what this did. Like, I don't know, is it too much to say, like, when you take a short rest, you get a little bit more hit dice or something?
Well, that is something that bards inherently do anyways.
Yeah, that's the Song of Rest. So you could always say it like modifies your Song of Rest in some form.
But yeah, and that's just I don't have any ideas of what this could be replaced with or how to modify it. It's just saying, like, if the only other spellcaster in your party is like another bard or a cleric or like a druid who has like the warcaster feat, then this ability doesn't help anybody. And it's not so much that it's like, well, you're being useless. It's like the reason you took this is because you wanted to help people. And if you're only helping one person in your party, that's not going to feel very good. Or if you're not helping anybody with this, 4-6 levels, because your third level ability doesn't do anything, that's not going to feel fun.
Yeah, because this would work great in a party with like a wizard or two in it, and it would feel great. But if this character is in a party of mostly fighters and rogues, you're like, well, my third level ability literally does nothing. Like, it helps me a little bit.
That is very flavorful, so
Yeah.
I like it. I'm trying to think if there would be any way to capture that idea but apply it more generally across the board. The problem is that D&D doesn't, 5th edition doesn't have a lot of like commonly used, like, easy to use mechanics for like learning a new language or gaining a skill proficiency just through like studying it in the world. Like, you can do that, but it's not really like a very mainstream part of playing 5th edition. And if it was, it would be easy to say, like, you can learn a language faster or how to use a new set of tools. But because that isn't really that much of a part of 5th edition.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could you say that you could take a short rest in like half the time because it's so
You're
relaxing?
so relaxed.
Like if you do your bardic ability, the like Song of Rest, like you.
Oh,
That's
that's
Or if you
That's
perform while everyone's taking a short rest, you can take a short rest in half the time.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's
that's
so
interesting.
Which is basically how the Song of Rest works. It just instead says if you perform while you're taking a short rest, you get extra hit dice.
healing.
So it's
on
like
hit
adding
dice.
on to that.
Yeah, in
and
addition.
also you can do something else. I mean, I don't hate the idea of giving something like advantage on Constitution checks for concentration, like for spells.
I like that.
But the problem is,
Yeah.
yet again, that only affects spellcasters.
Right.
So if it was
Well, you
maybe
can keep
just
that
like
stuff.
you only like everyone, if you perform this over a short rest and everyone studies and relaxes, everyone gets advantage on Constitution, the saving throws and checks like for
at
the
all,
next
yeah.
whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay. Ooh, yeah, because
So that it's like
studied.
then when the barbarian needs to make a Constitution save on a spell effect or like a dragon's breath weapon or something, I don't know. Like they'll also still be benefited from this.
Removing it from the spell saves or maintaining concentration on a spell does, I think, make it harder to see the flavor in
Yeah.
it, though. So it's a bit of a trade-off.
But I think, like, if we leave the ribbon ability of, like, wizards can transcribe spells in half the time, and while you're
also-
performing, everybody
Yeah.
just gets Constitution saving throw advantage, like,
Yeah.
across the board. I think that makes it much more useful to a party and less of a niche that is only useful to one member of the party, kind of.
What if
Definitely,
it
I
was,
like that.
I'm thinking of something like Heroes Feast, where it gives you a bunch of advantages on things later on.
Maybe.
Where what if you had studied and relaxed to these chill vibes on your rest, maybe you would be less prone to something like fear because you're so
Maybe that might
relaxed.
be
I don't know.
like a higher level of it.
That is higher level, yeah.
But see, what about this? You take this ability, and as you go, if you study, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but like you're studying for something that might happen, you get to choose one stat thing like charisma or constitution or whatever, and you get to save advantage on a saving throw on that for like the rest of the day.
Because you studied for it.
Because you studied.
Oh, interesting.
That's cool.
It's sort of a twist on sort of a divination wizard
That's- yeah.
having like a roll pre-saved for something to come up later.
Or like an inspiration.
Yeah,
kind of
or
thing.
like an
It's
inspiration.
you-
I think that's really cool.
Ooh, actually, Bean, you pointed a good thing here, that the subclass abilities here, they're great, they're flavorful. We love the vibe of this entire thing. Mechanically speaking, design space wise, none of them interact with your bardic inspiration at all.
Oh, that's true.
Which not every bard subclass has to have like
But
an
that
ability
means
that
there's
interacts
room
with
for
it.
that.
But that means there is some room to play with that if we say, you know, your bardic inspiration is better because of the vibes if you performed during your short rest or whatever it might be. Maybe they can, if they use it on one specific thing, they say, I'm going to study to use the bardic inspiration on my charisma checks. Then it will be better if they use it for that than if they used it for something else. I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
Something in there. There's some space to play, is what I'm trying to say. Like there's definitely some compelling design space. It's something that I really enjoyed about in the new book Tasha's Cauldron of Hideous Everything.
Yeah.
They have the Bardic subclass College of Eloquence, which has some really interesting uses of Bardic Inspiration, where your Bardic Inspiration doesn't go away if they fail the check, so they get to keep trying, and then your Bardic Inspiration can like bounce from person to person. So it's like making that Bardic Inspiration die, kind of weave into the subclass, can help connect it more to being a bard specifically.
yeah.
Because of course performing and music is already bard-like, but mechanically in D&D, really what bard means is Bardic Inspiration. Yeah.
One last thing, the flavor that I want to submit. Not that everyone has to do this, but the classic thing about the YouTube channel is this girl, right? The little cartoon. And she's got the googly eyes on her headphones and all that good stuff. For me, the way I see this is that she just has sort of a little like boombox that she just plays her music from, and she's just studying. That's how she has to do it, is like, or it's a sound that is generated.
The bard is studying?
The bard themselves is studying.
Yes, and that all this action is happening around her.
You
And
are the
she's
study
just
girl.
sitting, and she's just sitting there
POV, your study girl.
studying.
What if you were the study girl?
And I was the cat in the windowsill.
Well, it's like the opening to Guardians of the Galaxy 2. You're
Yes.
Groot just jamming out
You're
to your
Groot.
tunes
Just vibing.
But like,
while
so
the
she's
universe
sitting there.
destroys around you.
She's sitting there studying, and instead of every now and then looking up and out the window, she just kind of every now and then up and looks at the battlefield.
And like
And
casts
her party-
like healing word.
And her party and her friends are doing great because of her music. But everyone else is like too chill, and they just can't keep up. And she's just like calmly writing notes and like turning the page while
you-
all the carnage happens around her.
If you take a turn to study, then on your next turn, everything's like twice as powerful.
Ooh, now we're talking. Some charge
Wait,
up
that's your
mechanics.
inspiration. That's your inspiration because you study and you've like learned their moves. And you can, you're studying your opponents or your team. And then you can turn and give them advice based on what you have been studying. And that is where your inspiration comes from.
That's honestly not bad. There's
like
something
it.
there. There's something there.
Yeah. Use your study powers.
I think this is, honestly, it's funny because it's like, this is sort of a, like a joke post, like they came up with this idea, but the thing is, there's actually some good fertile ground here for design. Like, this is very good.
I think there's something to that of when you take something that doesn't really aesthetically fit into D&D at all, and you go, I'm gonna make it fit into D&D, you have to get more creative.
Yeah, find more interesting ways to do
Yeah,
it.
and you think of new mechanics, because it's easy to just be like, I don't know, I'll make a slightly different warrior class. But when you're like, how do you make the study girl a subclass?
All right, I think that's everything we've got to say. Thank you so much again to Marshmallow Figs for this great design that's inspired a lot of really good conversation and thoughts and creativity. Thank thinking about different mechanics and everything, I feel like there's a really good space here that could be made into a very, very compelling, like even like professional level, like published subclass. Like this is
Absolutely.
like a good meme joke, but then everyone went, wait a minute. Wait, this is good, actually. We'll credit the artist here, Juan Pablo Machado, who made the original Lo-Fi Study Girl image, which is used on the screen here. And I think that's where we'll wrap it up for the day. Thanks so much for listening, travelers. If you have your own thoughts or opinions about the College of Lo-Fi Beats to study and relax to, make sure to comment them down below. We will include the link to the original Reddit post in the description, so please check that out. Go over there, give the creator some love on their original post. We'll include a link to the actual Lo-Fi Beats playlist just for fun.
Yeah.
Just, if you want to mellow out, just take that link and
If you need to relax. Hey,
chill.
if you have a favorite like lo-fi relax, or even if it's just like a relax song, like comment your favorite like study chill song below. We'd love to check them out.
Yeah, those are great to share around with each other. I love those. And if you have your own homebrews you'd like us to discuss on the show, send them to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on social media at thecopperfoxinn. And that's all we've got to do today. So this is where I'll obviously be inserting the full lo-fi song that I've taken the time to mix and create out of our talking and our theme music.
Excellent.
Right now. And
Oh, this is sick, Thomas.
yeah,
Very
thank
nice.
you. I worked a lot on this, actually.
I really hope it's just you going boo cha like into a microphone.
Just bad beatboxing.
Yeah.
Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for future D&D homebrew discussion content. And until next time, keep on adventuring.
Bye.
Does anyone have some pants that I could borrow?
You were just supposed to rip the lapels.
It was a whole suit.
You were wearing pant lapels?
Yeah, I wanted to be extra businessy.